Hi everyone, it is 4 o'clock. Princess Peach over here has got herself all adjusted and ready to go, so I think we should get started. Woo! It is 4 o'clock. It's time for Wonder Sparks DIY Puppet Craft. Woo! Okay. This week is Jungle Week. So all of our crafts are going to be jungle themed. We're gearing up for a special show on Friday at 11 a.m. It's a double feature of some of Aesop's fables, and you will get to see why it's Jungle Week in honor of that special show. So we're starting it off with a really fun one. We are going to be making these fun, funky flamingo puppets. And I think these are really fun because they have really fun wiggly legs, and then they also have this really fun neck movement. You know, flamingos have really long legs and they have really long necks, so lots of fun stuff you can do with this puppet. Okay, let's quickly go over our supply list. First thing we'll need is a paper plate, and in our promo video I went ahead and said to paint it pink if you are able. Otherwise, if you want to just take a regular paper plate and build along with us, you can always go back and color your puppet later if you want to join us live right now and you didn't have time. So I pre-painted mine, but there are definitely options for you. You will need scissors. You'll need a hole punch, either these little brass fasteners, or just a little piece of pipe cleaner. Some white glue or masking tape. My masking tape is blue, but I just used tape earlier. If you prefer, you can use some white glue, but you need a little patience to wait for it to dry. You'll need 2 popsicle sticks. I have a little box of them here. I'm using these smaller kind today. And a glue stick, a pencil, and some black construction paper. I just have some little pieces here. This should be plenty. But yeah, I've got a little extra just in case. And that's it. Let's get started. So the first thing I wanted to show you, if you haven't painted your paper plate yet, you guys probably already know this, but if not, the way to make pink paint, these are just some acrylic paints. So I've got a little splash of white and red. So if I mix them together, I'm gonna take my brush and mix them together, I get a nice pink color. Can you see that? You know, the sun is a little bright. Let's see. There we go. You can see it a little bit better there. And when I do this, I don't even mix it that well. I kind of leave it a little bit streaky. I think it makes it a little fun rather than having the color be totally uniform. So I just wanted to quickly show you that. If you did not already know, white and red makes pink. Otherwise, if you have a pink marker, you can color in your plate with a pink marker or pink crayon. Either way. So whatever you want to do to color your plate pink. So I went ahead and painted in advance, so that's what I'm going to work with today. Now, the first thing we're going to do is fold this paper plate in half. Right like that. And we're just going to cut it in half right along that fold. We'll take our scissors and do that now. Okay. So I've got 2 equal halves. And let's see, I'm going to take this half. One of these halves is going to be the body of our flamingo. So I can just set that aside. And with the other half, I am going to fold it in half one more time. So it looks like this. And then once again, we're just going to cut right down that line that we've made. Okay. So now we've got a little pie looking shape like this. So my plate has these little ridges on the outside, and it has one ridge kind of going all around the plate. So I'm going to cut right here on that ridge in between these little ruffles and the flat part of the plate. There's a nice little line, and I'm going to cut right along that. Okay. So this is going to be the neck of my flamingo. And it's going to fit something like that. And with this other little smaller triangle that we just cut out, that's what we're going to make the head. Okay. So why don't we, let's go ahead and attach the neck to our body first. So I'm kind of lining up where these little ruffles are and these little ruffles on the body. And I'm going to make sure that it overlaps. And somewhere right about there is where I'm going to poke my hole with my hole punch. Okay. There we go. So the hole punch has gone through both the neck piece and the body. And now if we have our little brass fastener, we can just put it right through and open it up. Again, you want to keep it a little bit loose. You don't want to pull it too tight because you want the neck to be able to move. If you don't have one of those, you can grab a little piece of pipe cleaner. We're going to line up the holes, and I'm going to put the pipe cleaner right through both of those holes, and I'm going to make a little loop, bending that pipe cleaner right around, something like that. And I flip it over and I do the exact same thing. And once again, just like with the brad, you want to keep it a little bit loose so that you can have some nice movement in the neck. Yeah, just like that. Great. Now, let's work on the head of our flamingo. Here, I'm just going to, again, fold this little triangle in half. And we can cut that. Okay. Now all I'm going to do is I'm just going to round these corners. So I'm going to think about it like this. This side is going to be the back of the head, and this pointed side is going to be my beak. So here I'm just going to round out these corners a little bit so that my flamingo head is not quite so pointy. There, that's looking very bird-like. And we can just glue that right on. I think first what I did before is I rounded these corners of the neck as well, just so it's not so sharp. Same like we just did on our little flamingo head, is just rounding out these corners. Good. Okay. So now I can take my little bird head that I just made, and we can take a glue stick and just glue it right on to our neck. Okay. Actually, before I glue it, I want to make some features for my head. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the black beak with this black paper. So I'm going to hold this little bird head, my flamingo head that I just made, and hold it against my black paper, and I'm just going to trace around. So we're going to end up with a black triangle for the beak. That's what my pencil is for. Tracing right around the outside, that pointed part of the head. See, I've got a little triangle right there, and it should be the exact same size and shape to fit. Right like that. Now, if you have some black paint and you prefer, and you just want to paint that black, you can do that. But I know sometimes some paints are not that thick, and it might not cover the pink that you made. So I figured the construction paper is a nice, quick, easy way to make a little beak for our flamingos. And we're going to take that glue stick and press it on. There we go. Last thing I'm going to do for my flamingo face. If you have a googly eye and you want to use that, always a cool idea. But I'm just going to take my hole punch and I'm going to punch a little hole in my black paper. And for me, that's what I'm going to use for the eye of my flamingo. Oh, I have so many different colors in there already. But I'm just going to use that black one that I just poked. And I'll take my glue stick. All I have to do is brush that little dot right across the glue and put it right onto my flamingo head. Okay, now I think we're all set to glue our head to our neck. Yep, that's gonna look good. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of glue here on the end of the neck, just a little spot, and I'm gonna put my head right there. If you want, you can play around with the different angles, but however you want to put your head on is perfect. All right, very cute. Now, let's work on the legs. I'm going to take my longer piece here, and I'm just going to cut, here, I'm going to cut this extra off. So see, I've got kind of a long piece that way, and I'm going to cut 2 strips right about that thick. Something like that. So I'm going to take this cut and go all the way, cutting that full strip. One more time. Okay. So these are going to be our wobbly little legs. So we're going to do an accordion fold, and we've done this a couple of other times, so you might be familiar with this. I'm going to take one end and just fold it over, and then I'm going to take that same amount that I just folded and fold it the other way. So we're kind of going back and forth, right? I'm folding this way and then this way. So if I open it up, I'm making this little zigzag shape. Okay. One way and then the other way. So we're going back and forth every time. Now I have lots of practice with this, so I could do it a little faster, but if it takes you a little time, that's just fine. Or if you want to ask for an adult helper, that is great too. So I'm going to do this other little strip, make our nice little wobbly legs. Okay. Ta-da! All right, now we just have to glue them on. Right about there. It's a good spot for legs, don't you think? Okay, I'm setting my puppet down, and I'm going to glue them to the back of the puppet. There's one. And there's the other. Okay. Ta-da! So I've got my little flamingo, but I want a better way to control this neck right here so it doesn't just flop over like that. Right? So here's where the popsicle sticks will come in handy. If you want to use your white glue for this, that should hold really nicely. But I don't feel like waiting for it to dry, so I'm going to use my masking tape for this part. I'm going to take my 2 popsicle sticks. I'm going to glue one or tape one to the body of my flamingo and the other one to the neck, kind of close to where the head is. Not all the way down here. It's going to make it a little harder, but I want to glue it closer to the head. That should give me some nice control. So I'm going to set my puppet down, and I'm going to tape both of those popsicle sticks on. Like I said, my masking tape is blue, but it doesn't matter what color it is. You won't be able to see it on the back of the puppet. So I've got my stick on the body, and now here's one on the neck. Ta-da! And so this gives me good control. This one here that's on the body, that gives me good control of the legs, where the legs go, and how the puppet moves around. And this popsicle stick gives me control of the neck. Maybe the flamingo dives down to have a little drink of water, and then maybe they look up, maybe something's flying by, who knows. So that is how our puppet will work. Ta-da! All right, so one last little tip. If you haven't painted your puppet yet and you just have the plain paper plate, just be careful of this little hinge right here. If you paint in between, it might dry and then it might stick together and you won't be able to move your puppet around. So just be aware of that as you're painting. If you made your puppet first and you're going to paint it later, be careful of that little overlap. Okay, we are done. Woohoo! First puppet of Jungle Week. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. We are Wonder Spark Puppets. We do these DIY puppet crafts every single day. Monday through Friday, we're here at 4 o'clock, Saturdays and Sundays at 10 a.m. And like I said, this week is Jungle Week. We're getting ready for a special double feature of Aesop's Fables this Friday. We live stream a free puppet show every Friday at 11 a.m., so always be looking out for that. And if you check out our website, there's all sorts of cool stuff you can look at there. I am featuring my Wonder Spark t-shirt today, so we have merch, we have membership programs. You can also enter a raffle to win your very own live streamed puppet show, or you can order a live puppet chat or puppet telegram to send to someone special. So all kinds of cool stuff going on. Thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy making your puppets and post pictures. We always love to see pictures. Thank you, everyone. Bye.